Good morning everyone. This is Midhan Siwakoti here, and in this video I'm going to talk about how to take better pictures without any expensive cameras. This video is about compositions in photography and how different type of compositions give different meaning, give different feelings to your pictures and take your photography skills to the next level. So what do you mean by composition? Why is it important, and what are some of the fundamental rules of composition to take better pictures? Before we get into the video, make sure to subscribe to this channel. Here I will be sharing my concepts and passion for photography, for videography, and my graduate studies life in general. Alright, let's get into the video. What is a composition? Composition is the way you organize different objects in a single frame. It shows how you intend to tell a story through your image. Good composition does not require any expensive camera or lenses. It does not even require any kind of technical photography knowledge. It's purely an artistic approach to capturing an image. So why is it important? Why is composition important? Composition is a medium to express your ideas through photography. It is how you bring the viewers into your photograph and hold their attention long enough to define their own feelings. Kind of like in music, you have all the notes here, but they only sound good if you have a proper composition. We always want our pictures to be complex enough to convey our emotions, yet simple enough for your viewers to understand what you are trying to say. Here are some of the tried and tested composition tips for you to consider next time you think of taking a picture. Tip number 1, rule of thirds. This is one of the most important tips in composition techniques. You get the name thirds by dividing the entire picture frame by 2 vertical lines and 2 horizontal lines. And instead of placing your subject dead center, you place the interesting aspect of your subject on one of these intersection points. For example, the eye of this bird is placed exactly at one of these intersections. So is the head of my advisor. This flower is also placed at one of the intersections, and so is the head of this horse. In all of these photographs, the interesting aspect of the subject is placed on one of the intersections of the thirds line to better emphasize the subject. This technique was first used in ancient Greek paintings and has been one of the most commonly used technique for better looking image. Try to move it along the frame following the rule of thirds. You will see an instant bump on your artistic image quality while following this rule. You can see this technique used in paintings, in movies, in television shows, in magazines, everywhere. Which brings me to tip number 2, rule of space. This is actually an extension of tip number 1, so this could be more like tip number 1.5 maybe. This rule tells us to place the subject in the appropriate part of the frame. It tells you to leave some room for your subject if they are moving or looking in a direction other than the camera. For example, a dog moving to the right is better captured when you give some space for him to move. This creates a sense of motion, and the viewers can easily get the fact that this dog is running towards the right side of the frame. Similarly, you can easily understand that this guy is getting to the right side of the frame because we left him some space to move there. And in this picture, we left him some space to the left side for him to contemplate on his life decisions. So, following the rule of space prevents the picture from feeling confused, and it also allows the subject to move around. The next tip is leading lines. Another important rule is that of leading lines. Human eyes are naturally drawn towards lines and curves in a photograph. You should always try to guide your viewer's eyes through your image. One of the best ways to do this is by introducing lines on your image. The lines could be horizontal, it could be vertical, it could be diagonal, it can even be a curve. Different type of lines provide different emotions, different characteristics in your image. Vertical lines give a sense of power, a sense of rigidity, permanence, while horizontal lines give a sense of peace, give a sense of comfort and serenity. Likewise, diagonal lines give a sense of excitement, sense of nervousness and intense movement, while a curved line provides a sense of sophistication and looks more natural to the human eyes. So try and look for these kind of lines to keep in your photograph. It will instantly make your photography game a lot better. This leads to another important tips for composition: patterns. Just like the leading lines, patterns are another tool to draw your viewers' eyes through your pictures. Introducing a pattern in your image can make a repeating subject interesting, and it feels less cluttered. It also creates a sense of eternity when the pattern continues off the frame. You can use this composition technique to provide a sense of quantity without having to show everything in your image. Now, the fourth tip on the list is symmetry. Symmetry is when one half of the image is a perfect reflection of the other half. Like in this video, I've tried to position myself in the near center and tried to make this entire frame as symmetrical as possible. Introducing symmetry in your image creates a sense of geometric precision, beauty, and magnificence of the subject. In order to make the symmetry significant in your image, you need to make sure your orientation of the frame and the subject is properly aligned. The reflecting axis must be perfectly centered, the horizon must be perfectly horizontal, and all the vertical lines should be straight. General rule is that whenever you see a reflective surface like a mirror or a water or a metal, just go for symmetry. You cannot go wrong with that. And another thing to consider is to like, comment, subscribe, and share this channel to your friends who might benefit from these tips. Moving on to our fifth tip, perspective. Another important rule of composition is that of perspective. Perspective is the way you view your subject, its surrounding, and the dynamic relationship between the two. Controlling the perspective allows you to control the background and focus on your subject, or control the subject and focus on the background. It helps you simplify your composition and shifts the important to either the subject or the background of the image. Like physically getting closer or zooming into your subject allows you to show less of the background and more of your subject, while zooming out of the scene shows the scale of the background in which your subject is placed. General rule is that whenever you want your subject to dominate the frame, either get closer or zoom in as much as you can. And when you want your background to dominate the frame, either go further away or zoom out as much as you can. Let me add one more bonus tip before ending this video. Getting down to the subject's eye level. I've taken so many pictures of babies and animals while standing up and looking down to them. If only I had taken a little bit of time to, bend my knees and get down to their eye level, the pictures would have been amazing. What I mean to say is, you need to capture the emotions of the eyes while you take a picture. This will instantly help your viewers to connect with your picture and feel the presence of your subject. When you take a picture from above or from the top, it feels like you're just watching the subject from up above, like a god. And the viewers feel like they are detached from the picture surrounding. But when you come down to the subject's eye level, now you are a part of the image, and you can actually feel the subject's presence in the photograph. It's all about how you capture the subject's emotions and make the viewers feel like they are the part of the image that you just took. Understand that these techniques are by no means a set of strict rules that you must follow in order to take any pictures. These are just a set of guidelines to what feels like a beautiful image to others. Remember that you are in control of your art, and it's perfectly okay to break any of these rules. You just need to know and understand when to follow and when to break these rules. So have fun with it. It's the experience of taking a picture that counts. Next time, try out at least 2 of these composition techniques I just mentioned here. Be comfortable with them, try out as many combinations of the techniques as you can. So pick up your phone or your camera, go out and shoot as many pictures as you can. It does not matter if you follow these rules or not, just have fun with it. I'm Idan Sivakoti, and these are some of the composition tips for taking better pictures without a fancy camera. See you in the next video. Bye.